Hi, this is Darcy Edwards, and I'm here today with James Harris from Cedar Mountain Construction. And we're going to talk a little bit about what's happening out west, out in Banks. Stay tuned. So, James, you're from Banks, out
Yes.
by me, which is actually the best place to live, and everybody's headed that way. But you're actually running for school board.
Yep.
And this is it would be your second term, so you've already done 4 years. Can you tell us a little bit about how that experience has been, and what are some of the things that you've brought to the table or that you've had go through that you're proud of?
Yeah. I've been on the school board for 4 years, and I was voted in last time running against another person. And during that period of time, it's been really exciting. One of the things that we did during that first 4 years during that term was to take care of the Brave logo and mascot, which was a really hot topic for the whole state at the time, and a very hot topic for the community. And so during that period of time, I got to sit into the negotiation process with Nike, with the community, with the athletes, and with the Grand Ronde Tribe Indians, and come up with a way to be able to keep the name Banks Braves and come up with imagery that would fit the needs for the whole entire community.
Yes, I have to say, I'm a Brave to the grave. So I graduated from Banks High School. Of course, I didn't have a problem with the logo, but I could see both sides of that coin, and the logo that they came up with was phenomenal. And what a contentious time to be on the board. That's like, nothing really happens in Banks very often. That was a big deal.
It was.
So going through that and watching that process, what did you gain from that to bring into the next term? If you're reelected, what can you take from that to bring in and get some other stuff done? What are you looking to get done the second term?
Yeah, that's a great question. What I really gained from that process was the unitedness of the community. Mm-hmm. They really came together, voiced their opinion, and they really rallied together to try to come up with something that everybody liked. And so moving forward, our biggest concern that we have in Banks right now is our facilities. And so that's a huge hot topic, and it has been for years. People don't want to pay more in taxes, but everybody wants a new sports facility. They want to have a turf field because we're Banks state champion football players. They want to play on the turf. They don't want to play in the mud.
Sure.
Everybody else has got turf.
Yeah.
So that's a huge thing that we're working towards moving forward. Unfortunately, right now, with what's being offered and matched funds, it doesn't seem like the right time to do for us. But it's something we're actively pursuing, and that's something I'm actively looking at, helping our superintendent work with the facilities that we have.
Okay. Well, because like I said, I grew up in Banks, went to high school there, and I remember when I was about to go into high school, and this was many years ago, we'll say 20 plus, it was on the shelf then to get a new high school. And it's needed. We're going to grow. We have 250,000 people that are going to come to this area in the next 10 years. So what is the plan? Is there a plan for that? And how are they, how are we planning for that in the future? Because to be honest, I get asked that pretty much every month.
Right. So what we have to do is we had to get our facilities assessed. Mm-hmm. And that is an expensive process. And looking at a small school district like we have, it's hard to spend money to go out and get an assessment.
Right.
So what happened is we got a grant that paid for that assessment to take place. They came and they looked at all the needs for the facility, and they had group meetings and focus group meetings to kind of figure out what the community wanted and what the school wanted, and to come up with a plan. And so then they came back with a proposal and how much it would cost the citizens for extra taxes. So right now it was like $60 million to build a new facility, and it would cost something like, depending on how much your property taxes are,
incredible,
anywhere from $1,000 to $2,000 more a year in property taxes if we were to follow what is currently available right now for matched funds. Because they only match funds up to a certain dollar amount right now. because the funding for the school programs is pretty limited right now.
Speaking of that, we all know about May 8th, right?
Yep, May 8th.
Doing that. And, I have to be honest, I had a conversation with a gal the other day who was looking, she had to make the choice. Do I pay the money to become a teacher and never get paid very much? Or do I find a whole nother career in something that I don't like as much, but I know I can actually make money? So how are we addressing that at all for our school district and our teachers to get them? I know they're underpaid and they're undervalued. And so is that on the table at all for our school district, or is that all come from Salem?
So the funding comes from Salem. We're paid a certain dollar amount per student that attends our school. End of story, right? No matter how much timber tax we get from all the timber around our area, we can only have a certain dollar amount per student. And it's the size of our school that really limits that. So I'm with you. Like, I was actually going to become a professor. That was my background. That's what I wanted to do. That's what I was going to school to do. And I made a choice to go in a different career path because of that same reason that your friend had. But what I'm really proud about with Banks is instead of the walkout on the 8th, they're going with the theme to participate, but they're doing what's called a walk-in. Our staff at Banks is walking into the school with the students saying, yes, we understand that there's a problem. We're all going to wear red today, red for education, but it's more important that we're here to teach our students than it is to walk out.
Yeah.
And then the other thing is...
It's a tough call. It was a tough call, and I appreciate that, to be honest, because I know those teachers there. Some of them I went to high school with.
Right.
And I think, to be honest, because we're a small school, we are almost, I would say, oppressed, because we don't even have good internet. We don't even have, we're overlooked by Salem so much, and there's so many things that we lack because of the fact that we just don't have the population that a Hillsborough or a Portland has, which I'm not necessarily saying that we should have that, but there has to be a different way to change that number so that we can get some things done and not have it, go another 30 years without another high school. We've outgrown it. We outgrew it when I was in high school, to be honest.
Right.
So I appreciate them doing that and, taking care of our kids while we're on that very contentious day. It's contentious, and it does come from Salem, right? So
with that, though, what some of the school board members are doing is they're reaching out to other elected officials, and they're going to state representatives and our representative for our district and letting those people know so that they can make those statements going all the way back to Salem.
Right.
I've had a chance to audit other state representatives, go and hang out with them for the day. And their day is nothing but lobbying. They'll walk from one meeting to the next meeting, and they'll have another representative that'll come right up next to them and say, hey, will you support me in this bill? Will you support me in this bill? And so that's what we need to do, is we need to get people getting this steamroll going to support the bill. And there is a House bill in right now that will help improve our education. And it's one of the first ones that's been actually gotten this far in a long time.
Right.
And the business department did a 0 vote, meaning that they're not voting for or against, they're staying neutral. So that means that the Senate bill or House bill will actually move to the next step, and it isn't being shut down. It's one of the most positive things we've seen in a long time.
Wow, that's amazing. Who can we call
to
support that and say, hey, you know what, we want you to support us?
Everybody can look up who their district representative is. And so, this isn't just a Banks issue.
No,
this is the whole entire state.
Yeah.
And then call your representative for your district, and it starts there.
Awesome. Okay, so how do we support you in your bid for board member? And how do we do that? How's the best way besides voting? Can we get your name out or help you somehow?
Well, I think voting's the number one thing, right? Because I think that's actually one of those things that's dying in our population. There's a lot of bad attitudes saying, well, my votes really don't matter. Well, they do. It could be one vote that can make a difference. But let your friends know that I'm running for school board. Let them know and encourage them to get out and vote. Any kind of social media pushes, just talking to your friends, just those sort of things will help big time.
Excellent. Okay, so on the side of like who you are as a person, let's talk about your family and a couple of your hobbies. I know you like, the guy runs. It's really, really kind of annoying. Because it's like, I don't run. But, and does dirt biking and some really cool fun stuff. So talk about your family a little bit.
Yeah.
So people know who you are.
I have 4 kids, and next year I'll have kids in every single school in
sweet.
Banks. So it's
love the schedules for that.
Pretty awesome. Our family is totally about all outdoors. That's what we do. We do camping, we do motorcycle riding, we do hiking, we do rock climbing. My wife is a rock nut. She loves geology, and anytime one of our friends go on any kind of trip, they all know to bring her rock back from the trip. And so she's got rocks from literally all over the world, and I think it's funny.
Rocks from all over.
We had a guest come to our house once and say, most people decorate with pictures and flowers, and you got rocks.
Yeah.
Well, so, but, as funny as that is, our focus is the outdoors. Yeah. And I do run crazy amounts. People call me sick. They think it's weird, but, I run 50 miles a week, and I climb mountains, and
awesome.
That's my life. Our kids do sports, and we just love being outside.
And you're a business owner. So on top of that, run your own business. Could talk about that a little bit. Cedar Mountain Construction and what your guys' they build everything though. You do full-on houses, beautiful, gorgeous homes, remodels of like kitchens and so forth, and outdoor work. So it's kind of a really crazy, cool business that they have, and they can find you online or find your work online.
Yep, Cedar Mountain. So it's cedarmc.com is our website. You can find us on social media. You can find us on Instagram and on Facebook. Yeah, and it's a light commercial and heavy residential company. We've done anything from building a Jared jewelry store to building Jeep trails for Jeep Jamboree, and pretty much everything in between. We've done trail bridges. We've done road construction. We're listed in the National Registry at Timberline Lodge for doing work up there.
Oh, wow.
And we've built some pretty amazing houses and done some very simple houses. Everything's tailored to what the customers need.
Well, I'm telling you, everybody is headed west, and there's lots of land out there. I mean, there is land out there to build your dream home, and we would love to help you do that. So thank you so much for being on today. And I'm going to go vote for you when I get my ballot for school district.
Thank you.